Arjun was always the kind of person who felt that speaking more meant achieving more. From a young age, he believed that sharing his ideas loudly and frequently was the only way to be noticed. At school, he would raise his hand at every opportunity, often interrupting others because he was excited to share his thoughts. At work, he carried the same energy, eager to prove himself to his colleagues and managers. Yet, despite his constant talking and relentless enthusiasm, Arjun often felt overlooked. His ideas were sometimes ignored, sometimes misunderstood, and occasionally taken credit for by louder voices around him. The more he tried to assert himself, the more frustrated and anxious he became. He began to wonder if talking so much was actually a weakness rather than a strength. Arjun's workplace was full of people who were confident, assertive, and sometimes overpowering. Meetings became a battlefield for attention, where only the loudest voices seemed to matter. Every time Arjun tried to contribute, he either spoke too quickly, stumbled over his words, or felt invisible among his colleagues. He could see the opportunities pass by him because he had not mastered the art of timing his words. The subtle art of being quiet, observing, and choosing the right moment seemed completely foreign to him. Even at social gatherings, Arjun felt pressure to talk more, to fill every silence with words, to impress friends or acquaintances with constant chatter. Yet this never gave him the respect or recognition he longed for. One day, during a particularly tense meeting, Arjun shared a detailed idea, expecting praise or at least acknowledgement. Instead, he was interrupted, dismissed, and the conversation moved on as if he had never spoken. The feeling of embarrassment and disappointment was overwhelming. He left the meeting room quietly, though inside he was bubbling with frustration. It was in moments like these that Arjun began questioning himself. Was speaking constantly really the path to success? Or was there something he was missing? Arjun's mentor, a calm and wise senior colleague named Mr. Sethi, noticed his struggles. Mr. Sethi was a man of few words but of great influence. He always seemed to understand the room, saying the right thing at the right moment. Unlike others who pushed for attention, he guided with patience and quiet authority. One afternoon, Mr. Sethi called Arjun aside and shared a simple observation. Sometimes, it is not about speaking more. It is about seeing more, understanding more, and waiting for the right moment to speak. The world listens when you choose your words carefully. At first, Arjun didn't fully grasp the meaning. It felt counterintuitive to him. How could saying less lead to more recognition or achievement? Despite his doubts, Arjun began to pay attention. He noticed how Mr. Sethi's quiet comments carried weight, how colleagues leaned in to listen when he spoke, and how his few words often solved problems more effectively than long speeches. Slowly, the idea began to take root in Arjun's mind. Yet, changing years of habit was not easy. He struggled internally between his instinct to speak constantly and the new understanding that silence could be powerful. He felt tension between wanting immediate results and the patience required to practice this new approach. This internal struggle created emotional highs and lows, as Arjun wrestled with self-doubt, embarrassment, and the fear of being ignored forever. Audience members relate because they too have felt the frustration of trying hard and not being noticed. The story sets up the perfect stage for transformation, highlighting that the first step toward success often begins with self-awareness, patience, and the courage to rethink old habits. In these moments of quiet reflection and inner conflict, viewers are emotionally drawn into Arjun's journey, eager to see whether he will find the key to achieving more by speaking less. After weeks of struggling with his natural tendency to speak constantly, Arjun slowly began experimenting with silence. He started observing his surroundings carefully, noticing how people interacted, who listened, and when the room was ready for a meaningful comment. At first, it felt unnatural. He would sit quietly in meetings, resisting the urge to interrupt, while his mind raced with ideas he wanted to share. But gradually, he noticed something remarkable. By staying quiet, he could actually see things he had never noticed before. He started understanding patterns in conversations, anticipating questions before they were asked, and recognizing opportunities that others missed because they were too busy talking. Every day, he realized that listening gave him power that words alone could never provide. One afternoon, a critical project meeting tested Arjun's newfound approach. A heated discussion had broken out, with multiple voices competing for attention. In the past, Arjun would have jumped in, trying to assert his ideas, only to be drowned out. This time, he remained calm and silent, carefully analyzing the situation. He noticed the gaps in everyone's logic and quietly formulated a clear, concise solution. When he finally spoke, it was at the perfect moment. His words were precise, confident, and impactful. The room fell silent as everyone absorbed his idea, realizing it solved the problem they had been struggling with for hours. The emotional impact of this moment was immense, not only for Arjun, who felt a surge of confidence, but for the audience watching, who could feel the power of well-chosen words. From that day on, Arjun's life began to change. Colleagues started respecting him, seeking his opinion in critical matters, and appreciating the clarity he brought when he spoke. Friends and family noticed a difference as well. His mentor, Mr. Sethi, smiled knowingly, recognizing that Arjun had learned one of the most valuable lessons in life: timing, observation, and thoughtful action are often more effective than constant noise. Arjun discovered that true influence does not come from speaking the most but from speaking at the right time and in the right way. This transformation was not just about professional success, it affected every area of his life. Arjun became more confident, more patient, and more mindful. He no longer felt the need to fill every silence, understanding that quiet moments were opportunities for growth and insight. The emotional journey reached its peak as viewers witnessed the satisfaction and pride Arjun felt, not from being the loudest in the room, but from achieving meaningful results through thoughtful action. The story inspires hope and motivation for the audience, showing that anyone struggling to be noticed or heard can find success through patience, awareness, and deliberate effort. The moral lesson became crystal clear: speak less, observe more, and act intentionally. Achievements often come not to those who shout the loudest, but to those who understand, anticipate, and respond at the right moment. The audience is encouraged to reflect on their own habits, how often they speak without listening, act without thinking, or seek attention rather than influence. Arjun's journey shows that small changes in approach can create massive results. By embracing silence, patience, and strategic action, anyone can increase their personal and professional impact. Ultimately, the story leaves viewers with a sense of empowerment. It emphasizes that success is not about noise, speed, or constant activity, it is about clarity, timing, and purposeful effort. The audience experiences motivation not only to change how they communicate but also to think more deeply about how they navigate challenges, relationships, and opportunities. By seeing Arjun's transformation from a talkative, frustrated young man to a confident, respected individual, viewers feel inspired to adopt a similar mindset, understanding that the art of being quiet is also the art of achieving more.